That's it. That's what I'm looking for. We got big. We need the epic music for the big news. Ooh. Ooh. This even got, even Mo's head is bopping right now. Holy cow. It's like, I don't know if anybody's going to be able to name if this going to be familiar to anybody. That sample right there. Shout out DJ T. DJ T Beach. Years later, look at this. Bungie joined Sony Interactive Entertainment. Shots fired and shots fired back.
Yeah.
You want to go buy Activision? You want to go buy Blizzard?
They answered.
You ever heard of Bungie? It's a smaller deal. It's still a huge deal. It's crazy when you're looking at a multi-billion-dollar deal and you're like, oh, it's a smaller deal. It's just that the other deal was enormous. Mm-hmm. The Activision deal. I think we might have been talking 70 billion on that one. I think that's what we were talking. This one, 3.6 billion the deal is reportedly worth. People said that Sony had to respond. The stock price on other developers was starting to go up. Remember, people were saying, particularly
Capcom,
in Japan,
Square,
yeah,
Nintendo.
They're like, what is Sony gonna do next? Who they want to buy? Watch the values go up. Mm-hmm. Well, apparently they had their sights set on Bungie for their retaliation, staying in it. It's got to make you nervous, man. Mm-hmm. If you're Sony, mm-hmm. If you see what's going on with Microsoft, which is your competitor, mm-hmm. You're gonna have to make your own acquisition.
I think they made a good decision.
You're a big Bungie guy?
Destiny, yeah.
I never played Destiny, but wasn't Bungie involved with Halo?
Yeah. They were the creators of the first, I think, up to the third one.
Yeah, so...
And then 343 took it over. So
do you feel like this is kind of... Is it possible that this is kind of like a signal that you go for the previous involvement with the game that's now exclusive on the other platform? Like, because we're talking about exclusives, and if you recall, the thing that people cared about when the Activision deal went down, they kept saying, well, is COD going to be exclusive now? Because the exclusive conversations when it comes to the consoles seems to always be the thing to talk about. Like, which games are going to be on which platform, and then people are either for or against it. You have the fans on either side that say, okay, my side's better, and I'm going to root for the exclusives that are on this platform. Mm-hmm. And then they do battle in the comment section and so forth. And then you have other people that look at gaming from the bigger picture and say, hey, people are going to miss out on playing good titles because they just don't have the hardware to play it when this exclusive stuff happens. Mm-hmm. And then for everybody to have all these different consoles seems like a lot of unnecessary equipment. Mm-hmm. If these things continue to get siloed off onto each of the two platforms. But it seems like there's no way around it right now. The IP.
Yeah, it's all about that nowadays, eh?
The IP rating. Mm-hmm. No, I meant the other IP, intellectual property, Internet Protocol.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's this deal? Bungie will continue to be a multi-platform independent. They always say the same thing. Multi-platform. No, it's not going to be exclusive. No, it's not a wrap on that. So they say good things out the gate so that people can't get too upset about it. The president and CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment said in a post on the PlayStation blog, Bungie's world-class expertise in multi-platform development and live game services will help us deliver on our vision of expanding PlayStation to hundreds of millions of gamers. That's another little mini shots fired. They're like, yeah, we got hundreds of millions of gamers. Mm-hmm. Bungie's technical expertise coupled with their track record of building highly engaged communities make them a natural fit for collaboration with PlayStation Studios. They keep talking about this community building thing because that's money down the road. It's not just money on a one-time deal. Mm-hmm. Like Destiny, you keep paying. Can you keep paying?
I think so.
I can keep paying.
Yeah.
Well,
you buy limited stuff.
It's like the gym membership in the new year.
Sure. Yeah.
Remember, like everybody,
it's an influx of people.
They get the membership, and then they're getting billed forever after that, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So anyway, all the games need to be ongoing, and they need to be communities now. That's the thing. And Destiny does that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, here's some questions, some Q&A courtesy of The Verge. As a Destiny player, does Bungie becoming part of PlayStation have any immediate impact on how I play and experience Destiny 2? No! Our commitment to Destiny 2 as a multi-platform game with full cross-play remains unchanged. We want you to play The Witch Queen on February 22nd on the platform of your choice. I don't know.
Anything after that is all PlayStation.
Yours in all caps in this answering this question.
Yeah.
So it's very intense. It's almost as intense as me yelling it. Of course, I mean, you're going to say this stuff. And look, I'm all for it if they actually do it. Here's my thing. You got a good game, make it available to as many people as possible. And there's so many new business models that seem to support that happening. It's just going to be hard when the stakes get elevated. If the other platforms do their exclusive things, then you're forced to respond or else you can't sell hardware. Because people will just say, well, I can play any game over here plus these exclusives. And so you get into a sort of arms race, which it appears that we're in right now.
Right.
Obviously, Bungie not on the same scale as Activision Blizzard. Right. So there's going to be a little bit less pull potential there. Still, something significant here, and definitely a response and a reaction to what's going on. And it's something for the Sony fans to celebrate in the presence of the variety of other deals that were happening on the other side.
Yeah. Congrats, Sony.
I guess
you did it.
I guess so. So, by the way, Destiny's the biggest launch they put out in a while, but I guess they've got this other game coming up. What was it called? Do you know anything?
Witch Queen.
Do you know anything
I don't
about
know
this?
anything
Okay,
about
all right.
it.
Well, anyway.
Yeah.
Looking forward to the Witch Queen.
Yeah, me too.
Apple Chinese New Year celebration on homepage and new shot on iPhone video. I haven't seen this yet, but they're celebrating the Chinese New Year. The Chinese zodiac tiger. These years come every 12 years as a cycle. In Chinese element theory, each zodiac sign is associated with one of 5 elements: gold, metal, wood, water, fire, or earth. 2022 is the year of the water tiger.
The water tiger.
Water tigers come only every 60 years. This is the only.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's your last water tiger, Will.
Oh, I'm a tiger, actually.
You're not going to make another 60 years. You understand? It's your last.
Gotcha.
It's your last water tiger opportunity. Mine as well. Don't worry. It's not like I'm planning on living forever. You know?
Oh, right. Yeah.
No, it's.
Yeah.
Mo might see another water tiger.
I think so. Are you a tiger too?
No, I don't. I think. What am I? What is it? Year or month? This isn't the same as. I don't know what I am.
Okay.
How do we find? How do we find out? Tell me. How do I find out? What do I got to do? Tell me what I am. But wait, aren't you and I born the same year?
Are we?
1985?
No, I'm 6.
Oh, okay. Give me 85. So it's just a yearly thing. There's no month component to it.
You are the ox.
Ox, that's right.
My friend.
Yeah, that's right. That sounds
That's
about
you.
right. You know why I got it screwed up?
Why?
Because the other one with the stars,
Zodiac.
the
Astrology.
zodiac, I'm May, so I'm also the bull over there. So I'm the bull there and then the ox there.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's why I was confused. I was like, wait, am I saying the right one right now? I didn't want to offend anybody. I can't remember these things. Anyway, so Apple's celebrating Apple's Chinese homepage, and they got a 23-minute short film. Holy cow, Apple.
The comeback.
All of a sudden-
That's what it's called.
All of a sudden, Will's second guessing playing this clip here. He's like, react to the clip.
Yeah, I thought it was like a 30-second.
He's like, react to the clip here. But I guess, go ahead. Just play a little bit of it here.
This is it, right?
Oh, my God. Look at the guy. What is he on Mars?
Goodness.
Is there a Mars aspect to this?
I guess so. Is he supposed to be Elon?
Well,
Chinese Elon?
I mean, his spacesuit, not gonna lie, looks a little bit
Put together?
a little shoddy. I'm nervous.
I'm guessing one of these is the play.
You know what it is? You want to know what it is? It throws me off. It's the red light on the top of the. That's the behind the scenes.
Oh, that was cool.
The alert.
You hit the behind the scenes right there.
Okay, this is probably
Yeah.
in there.
Well, yeah. Okay. It's more behind the scenes, but this is still okay. So you can just tell they basically made a feature film. When you got the ropes out and the flips are happening,
Yeah.
they make a feature film. Apple, they invest in
Look at the lighting. It's
in marketing. I mean, they want to sell some phones Chinese New Year. Why wouldn't you?
a lot of rigs going on.
It's how you sell phones, man. Rigs and flying and flipping stunts. Mars. I don't know if they actually went to Mars. People are screaming right now. They're like, just let me go watch it. You can go watch it. High production value. See what Apple's up to as far as what they're promoting in China. I don't think that they're posting this on any other homepages.
Yeah, that's apple.com.cn.
There you go. That'll take you right there. Buy yourself an iPhone 13 while you're at it with the money you got from Chinese New Year.
Yeah.
Because that's what you got to do, Will, with the envelopes.
Yeah, the red pocket.
Yeah, you got to do the red envelopes, man. Come on.
I do.
Republicans attack Apple over release of pregnant man emoji for iOS. We talked about this. I kind of felt that there was going to be, honestly, in it, I was kind of like a little bit more reactionary. Mm-hmm. I was just reacting to the appearance, to the additional emoji option.
Yeah.
But I, as soon as we were done filming that clip, I was like, oh, right, there's going to be a whole set of headlines and political conversation around the existence of this particular cartoon. But I know emojis mean a lot to people, way more than to me. As I told you previously, I'm a one emoji guy.
Yeah.
And
very specific.
And of course, it's Apple, and Apple is just this huge brand. But somebody said in the comments to me that this particular emoji update is more like across the board. It's just that this is the first time it's showing up on Apple's side. Like you're going to see the pregnant man elsewhere.
Really?
At which point, who are you mad at? I don't know.
Oh, so Google has one already?
Let me just explain the pregnant man to you. All right.
Okay. Wow.
Because can you play that theme song again? That opening track?
Where are you going with this?
Yeah! You still had it!
Yeah.
Let me explain a pregnant man to you. Let me explain it. All right. The pregnant man would be a male appeering like a male.
Don't screw this up.
Yeah, okay, hang on. Hang on a second.
All right.
Appearing as a male, presenting as a male, pronouns as a male, but uterus, still uterus.
Okay. Yeah.
You see, I don't have to even be that descriptive because you know where I'm going here, what I'm getting at. So that person is a thing that exists. That person. Like a person that looks like that exists. And that's what Apple is aiming at, or not Apple, but like emoji culture in general is aiming to. And, as far as I can tell, I think there are other places to place this. Like, I don't know how outraged people actually are versus the headline stuff that even we're involved in, which is, that anytime some sort of significant change happens, you're going to get both sides of it just getting all
riled up,
getting the feathers. What is that saying?
Ruffled the feathers.
The ruffling of the feathers. It's almost like clockwork, right? It's like one side is feeling this way, the other side's feeling that way, and each side is ready to go. You know, you
Yeah.
said when we started the show, you said you want to go, like you threatened me. Remember that?
I did, yes.
That's what happens. It hasn't even, the story isn't even really there yet. And everybody's like, you looking at me? You talking to me? You got a different point of view? You better not. Careful.
Yeah.
I noticed it myself too. And some people pointed this out. Like, you're covering so many topics and talking so much, and you're having to be so aware of all the potential combat that's going on out there over everything. And it becomes hard, even when you've got a pregnant man cartoon.
Yeah, man. That's why I don't say a lot.
Really do.
I mean, you gotta
Keep it straight,
I mean,
you know?
at the end of the day, it's what you have, and so it's but it's fun. I don't mind walking the tightrope, but I'll tell you one thing: everybody's gonna slip. Learning how to walk the tightrope, and even the trained professionals, they're gonna. That's what the safety thing is for, when you're walking a tightrope.
Right.
Only the most seasoned veterans do it without the rope, the tightrope, like without the extra rope in case you fall off the tightrope.
Yeah. What was that, solo climbing?
Well, I mean, if you're on a mountain, but I was talking more about the tightrope because it just.
Oh, right, yeah.
Anyway, a lot of people are pissed. I feel like I didn't even fully flesh out the headline there. A lot of people are pissed. They say it's the evidence that, like some sort of, this is not biologically proper, you know, and that it's going to give the wrong idea, and it's the beginning of the downfall.
Yeah. It's always a betting on the future, it seems like, these things. It's like this is a very slippery slope.
That's
as
right.
people would say.
That's right.
You know.
So anyway, it turned into a political issue, left, right. And, of course, as you already are probably aware, left loves it and right not so much. So there you are again. And then the majority of the public is somewhere in between those two. Far apart parameters, regular humans.
Yeah.
What do you got, Mo? Do you have an update for us here? You're looking very concerned over there.
A few people are complaining about the audio.
Yeah.
What's with the audio?
Your voice is going too loud and quiet, but I'm not hearing it.
It's because of the screaming.
It does have anything to do with the screaming. Does it have anything to do with the screaming?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Intel takes a bite out of Apple. This was actually a cool video I spotted on The Verge. This is the latest Alder Lake. I haven't seen these laptops yet. This is actually the first one of its kind. And the premise of the video is whether or not Intel is competitive with the likes of Apple and the stuff they've been doing with M1. It's a little bit strange in the sense that you're comparing two laptops that aren't really comparable. In a sense that a lot of people that want an M1 MacBook are looking for something that is thin and light. They're maybe doing Photoshop or Final Cut. And then the MSI laptop that's in this video with a tremendous spec sheet, Alder Lake, i9 with RTX 3080, it's more targeted at gamers. That just seems to be what happens. The really high-powered PC laptops are just, gamers are the ones who are willing to pay for them, typically. And the other reason it's a tough comparison is because this unit is like over 6 pounds compared to 4.5 or whatever the MacBook happens to be. So this is a Core i9 12900HK RTX 3080 Ti, 32 gigs RAM, 2 terabyte SSD. The model that she looked at in the video is 1080p 360 hertz. So
360 hertz?
Even more gamer.
That's insane.
Even more gamer targeted. It is a $4,000 laptop. That's no joke. Huge RGB strip on the front. You can configure it with a high-res display, which will have will not be 360 hertz. It's probably going to be I hope it's not 60, but maybe one. I don't know what the other display option is. It's not in front of me right now. But anyway, there's a couple of tests in here which are interesting on the creative or content creator side, which is exporting videos. If you are still a person that's using Premiere at this point, again, not the most fair matchup because there are other native video editing apps on the Mac which are probably going to be faster than this. But here you can see a 16-inch M1 Max. Only bests on this new chip, barely, on an H.264 export test for Premiere Pro 4K. We're talking like 10 seconds. And you know that M1 Max chip is very expensive, that particular 16-inch MacBook Pro. So what does it tell us? Like, is Intel catching up? Does Intel have an answer here? Are things getting better? Well, yeah, probably. But there still seems to be this divide between these types of customers. And then we start to really appreciate how hard it is to get these types of specs and this type of performance in something as small as the M1 MacBook Pro and thin and light and so on. Now, granted, it doesn't have an RTX 3080, so that's worth noting too. Either way, it's good news for gamers. If you've got the budget for it, this new stuff looks pretty promising. Did Intel take a bite out of? I saw the headline. I feel like we got to just use the same headlines. Great headline.
Yeah.
Intel biting an apple. I mean, I'm just picturing it. This is some weird news. Honestly, it's not. There's not too many places covering this right now.
Okay, so we have the scoop.
No, I don't think it's a scoop. I mean, this site seems to know. Maybe they pulled it from local news. I don't know. It's only a matter of time before this gets picked up elsewhere, I would guess. But this was a Samsung facility in Austin that apparently spilled 763,000 gallons of acidic waste into a local tributary. No surviving aquatic life. That's a lot of gallons. I read this through. I guess actually there's a nice overhead image, like a satellite image, which will show you the tributary. So you've got.
So that's like a river.
You got water action in there.
Okay, yeah.
And there is some wildlife in there. And when they say acidic, this is the thing with the trendy water, which would say the pH level.
Trendy water. Do
you know what I'm talking about? Like when you're drinking the trendy water?
Like high alkaline?
Like Flow. Like I'm always drinking that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, you have alkaline water. And you're attempting to, with alkaline water, limit your acidity. It's very hotly contested and debated, and it's much like the pregnant man emoji.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's similar
on water, eh? I didn't know that.
Okay, maybe I'm exaggerating. Anyway, as you can tell here, in an extreme case where you have this increase in acidity, apparently. Over a period of 106 days, the spilling resulted in the tributary's pH level falling to between 3 and 4, values that are overly acidic for surface water. All right, this happened apparently January 28th. At least that's when it was discovered. Now, I don't know, does Samsung call them up and be like, hey, it's a problem over here? Or do they just sample the water and then look for a source and realize what's going on? I'm not sure, but if you scroll down a little bit more, you'll see that then they had to check on whatever aquatic life would have been there, and they said no surviving aquatic life within the entire tributary from the Samsung property to the main branch of Harris Branch Creek near Harris Branch Parkway. So this big section, I guess whatever was living there had been wiped out. I don't know how much was living there. This is just obviously not an ideal scenario.
So is the city going to sue Samsung?
That's a great...
You know?
Yeah, I don't know. Or is there some sort of a fine?
Yeah.
I think it would be a fine for something like this.
And what kind of waste is it?
Yeah, that's another...
Acidic waste? Is it like battery tech or something? There's a lot of questions here.
Exactly. Like this story was really strange to me. It's pretty vague. And then it's on a site that I've never been on before, fpsreview.com. So I think we got to wait and see if more stories emerge here that... correspond with these findings. If anybody's local in Austin, you can let us know in the comments if you've heard anything about this. But I think we're going to see some more articles based on that article and We'll get to the bottom of it, but take it for what it is right now. Oh yeah, here's one. Here's a fun one. Look at this tweet. This tweet absolutely blew up. I had to take notice of this tweet.
Yeah.
Because it has 508. It might be the hottest. I think it's the hottest tweet in the last 24 hours. Doesn't matter who.
Yeah, it was at 400,000 this morning.
Exactly. Just flying. This tweet is flying. 508,000 likes. You can see it going up in real time. The user Spaceyong. Spaceyong?
Sure.
Yeah, all right. He tweets out, Netflix got to add a comment section too. I want to know if this movie is worth watching or not. Very casual tweet, no caps. 51,000 retweets, over 3,000 quote tweets, and then 500,000 likes. I guess people love this idea, and I think Netflix should take note. 500,000 people on that tweet should be an indicator of a real demand. And you got to come with a supply. Although, as you see on YouTube, the comment section keeps getting diminished. Like on mobile, it keeps getting buried further and further down, or like beneath clicks. It seems to me that the comment section on the internet is under attack. If anything, it's not expanding. Of course, there's sites like Reddit, which are still primarily comment driven, but I can't imagine Netflix adding comments, but it's an amazing. Imagine the experience of being on Netflix with comments, maybe where you could have comment, like some of the Chinese sites do, like Bilibili. When I was going to watch my videos over there that had been transcoded, and comments, you could turn it on or off, but at pertinent moments, highly thumbs up comments would actually come on the screen.
Oh, so it's like kind of like SoundCloud, where it's
like
time stamped.
Oh, cool.
Kind of like so if you're lonely watching stuff on your own, like a movie or something, and you have your react, and then you see somebody's comment, or maybe it's something novel that you didn't think of, and then the comment comes on. He's talking about comments like reviews, user reviews, basically.
Right.
You
So
can
you
follow the people that reviewed it.
Or
maybe?
just see what other people are saying about a show.
Right.
Like, you got to watch this, or kind of like Amazon reviews or
But
something
if
like
I
this.
like a reviewer, it'd be cool if I can
Follow?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, these are all interesting ideas. Netflix is at a point right now where they've definitely got to innovate. Subscriber growth isn't what it was. They've been raising prices. I mean, we've seen the sentiment on the channel anytime we talk about
competition.
competition. Yeah, exactly. There's so many options now. So I wonder if they start thinking about tweaking the platform in that way. And if they take note of tweets like this that are flying, as far as people wanting to have more of a social element around how they use Netflix. Because if you think about it, when it comes to a Netflix show, getting started on something, choosing to watch is half the battle. And if you're ever with other people, they'd be saying, hey, I recommend that or not that. And inevitably, like, you like to have a recommendation when you're going to invest hours into something. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah. I think your idea of like the timestamp is a good idea, because maybe you can get like director's comments, like director's commentary, or what's that? Mike Flanagan, he had that Hill House Netflix show, and it has a lot of like secretive stuff, like tidbits and, you know, like things that you look,
Easter egg type
things
stuff?
you look out for.
Okay.
And it would be great for people to kind of just comment and, you know, stuff that you missed.
Play along. Or if you go back to Mo's idea of following certain other viewers on Netflix, then you could maybe have it where it's your own social graph.
Right.
Yeah.
So then it's like watching with friends, because their comments are the only ones you see. So you're only going to see approved comments. So you're not going to have like the open web, and maybe that's tougher
Right.
to govern. It could just be like you and a dozen other approved people that you can't watch with physically.
Yeah. So it's not bombarded either with comments.
It's possible. These are ideas for Netflix, courtesy of Twitter. BlackBerry has I guess it's a full wrap. I guess RIP BlackBerry, like fully, because I feel like we've made this clip before, RIP BlackBerry, but then some company will buy the name and still be making hardware, or the software is still like, I don't know.
Like they're constantly selling patents, I feel
They
like.
had so many patents, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, this, according to the street, this is it. These are the legacy patents, $600 million. Monday marks the end of the line for BlackBerry's eponymous handset after the tech group sold its final legacy patents on the mobile device for $600 million, which is definitely not nothing. BlackBerry shares moved higher Monday after the tech group sold rights to the legacy patents that powered its eponymous mobile phone handset that once rivaled Apple's. The deal worth $600 million marks the close of a decade-long slide in relevance for the BlackBerry, which at one time held a commanding 43% share. Anything can happen. Anything can change. Change is the rule.
It's the only constant.
Global handset market was used as a verb as well as a noun by celebrities, business leaders, and politicians alike. You would give each other your PIN, your BlackBerry PIN, BlackBerry Messenger,
BBM.
Yeah. It was like, it was like all of these enormously successful messaging apps now that are that are not SMS. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That was so
Yeah, it was
early. They had that.
And just knowing that it was like encrypted, it was private.
Crazy, man. There's such a lead, such a head start, and now a complete wrap. By the way, it's worth noting before you move on, you can see that their shares moved higher. It's definitely not RIP BlackBerry. I should just say it's the hardware. We're talking about the hardware here. As a software company,
Yeah, don't short it.
and a
stock.
and a security firm, that's where their focus has moved.
Yeah.
Just away from hardware. And I don't think any company is going to be making hardware with the BlackBerry brand going forward. Mm-hmm. We have an update with the Joe Rogan Spotify controversy. He has taken to Instagram, Twitter, and you see what it just did? You see what the image just did? That's what I was talking about. People didn't believe me.
How come he's so pale now?
Exactly. That filter just happened. Instagram. Yes. And then you click on it. Click on it, Will. See? Boom.
No. What?
I'm
so confused.
It's iPhones.
It's no, but it's Instagram as well.
Hold on.
And I'm glad we have it happening on camera here, like live. Because a lot of people were questioning if that was actually happening.
That's not his phone that's doing it? Like the sun hitting like a certain portion?
Well, the question is like, what is this thumbnail from, and what kind of is this from somewhere else in the video? And then when you go to click play, it was different lighting conditions? Because it seems to have happened. Look at that. It seems to happen like in an instant. It doesn't seem like the way a phone does it. So it's almost like Instagram
weird
adapting to the video feed and applying some processing to it. But anyway, that's not what we're talking about today. It happened previously when he looked like a zombie, and everyone was anyway.
That looked different as well.
It looked different as well.
Yeah, that filter or whatever it was.
Yeah, it seems to be the future of posting content online, that every site has its own processing, and your phone is doing so much processing on your complexion as well. It's out of control. But anyway, so
I wanted to make this video.
Here we have a 9-minute and 43-second clarification. You want to play a bit of it?
Sure.
That are disparaging. The podcast has been accused of spreading dangerous misinformation, specifically about 2 episodes, a little bit about some other ones, but specifically about 2. One with Dr. Peter McCullough and one with Dr. Robert Malone. Dr. Peter McCullough is a cardiologist, and he is the most published physician in his field in history. Dr. Robert Malone owns 9 patents on the creation of mRNA vaccine technology and is at least partially responsible for the creation of the technology that led to mRNA vaccines. Both these people are very highly credentialed, very intelligent, very accomplished people,
you can pause
and they
it.
have an opinion that's different from the mainstream narrative.
So if you want, you can go add to one of his 5.4 million views on this particular clip on Instagram. It's also posted on Facebook and posted on Twitter. It's collectively going to have 10 million plus views. A lot of people want to know what he has to say here. I'm going to at least condense the message portion, and I'll tell you what I think about it. But essentially what he says is, hey, I like having conversations, and I like having voices on the podcast that are not necessarily in line with the status quo, that they're not necessarily the majority point of view. I like
Sure.
to have the other point of view represented and so forth. He goes on to say that he does believe that there should be some kind of a disclaimer on his content that, that the opinions expressed are not that of the majority medical community or something like this. And that coincides with a statement that did not mention Rogan from the CEO of Spotify that said something almost identical, which is, hey, we're going to have this disclaimer now, which he agreed with. He also said that he wants to aim to have experts from varying points of views on similar topics closer together when it comes to booking. But I can give you some insight into that. A lot of people might look at Rogan's show and say, hey, there's many tens of millions of listeners to this thing. CNN keeps talking about this show. There must be some enormous team that arranges all of this, and it's not.
No.
It's not. Joe does it himself, and he's trying to schedule people in that are interesting and when they can do it. And he's also trying to run a show. So he's trying to get people on when there's a lot of interest in that person. That's what you would try to do if you were trying to do a show. And so in the case of Malone, he had been booted off Twitter. And I'm sure when he was looking for a place to talk, I'm sure that Joe knew that was going to be a big episode because you're a business, you're running a show, as I'm saying. Anyway, so and I know this firsthand because I've been on there a couple of times, and when it came to booking it, went back and forth directly with Joe. He does book his own show, and I know from running an online media business, you can get bombarded. It can be quite the procedure to try to fit everything in and wear all these different hats.
Not to mention just doing the show.
And then,
like making sure you have the research and you know what you're talking about.
And here's the other thing I just want to say about it. By the way, I think that the two things that they said are good ideas. Shout out to Spotify, shout out to Joe. Put the disclaimer for those that need to hear it. Everyone else can recognize that, hey, this variety of guests is not necessarily always in line. It might not be in line with your way of thinking, but does it necessarily mean that it should, is there a hybrid? Is there an in-between? Much like these other stories I was talking about earlier, where it's like seems so black and white on the internet, so all or nothing, where can't there be these hybrids where, okay, you've got a disclaimer for people who are curious so that they can go potentially and be encouraged to look at the alternative point of view. But anyway, would we have got here without the criticism in the first place and so forth? We're all figuring it out because we're all on the internet and the scope of this thing is expanding rapidly. And we're running these businesses, and everybody's trying to keep up with it. This variety of tasks that anybody in this business might have. So anyway, it's also, you got to go back to that clip just for a second, because it's also important to note that for those that think, because Neil Young did his thing and boycotted Spotify, and there was some thinking that maybe other artists would pile on and apply pressure to Spotify, further pressure. I think, for the record, I think this kind of squashes it a little bit, this solution. But also, he's got a lot of backers too, which if you scroll through the comments section, you'll see a lot of, well, obviously a lot of people from the fight community. Well, it's because you're not logged in. If you're logged in, then you see a lot of names that you might recognize. But either way, it's a lot of people from MMA, it's people from media, so a lot of prominent people, including The Rock, who has like a bunch of likes on his particular comment, encouraging Joe and asking to go on the show. I think what Joe should do, if at all possible, and I'm not sure this is a possibility, but I think you have Neil Young come on the show.
That'll be Great.
You have Neil Young come on the show, and
Let's have some dialogue.
I would hope that would be a possibility, because if what you really care about is representing both sides or your point of view or whatever, and that's the platform to do it. And I'm sure that Joe would be open to it, and I'm sure it would be an enormous episode given everything that's transpired. So, Neil,
Yeah.
I know you're listening to this, Neil. He's definitely not. But, I like the dialogue, man. You know me, Will.
Yeah.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it. I hate the idea of not hearing it because I'm scared
Right.
of what it might be. And I know there's differing opinions on this, but how can we know if we don't hear it? How can we know? We need a variety of inputs, ideally. Anyway, obviously within reason,
Yeah.
within Spotify's hybrid approach. Okay, so Neil Young update. Yes, that's right. He leaves Spotify, and then Apple says something really nice about Neil. And by the way, I mean, you could make the argument he could boycott all types of streaming services because they're all mega companies that somebody's mad at. But anyway, he decides to sort of go with Amazon. He decides to sort of promote Amazon of all the music streaming services. And he does so for a reason which is quite interesting. Man, I don't know if there's any other reasons or incentives to do so, but the main reason was that they support high-res audio. And you may or may not recall, Neil himself attempted to launch a high-res audio player years ago.
What about Tidal?
Yeah, he could have promoted Tidal.
Tidal?
We're getting audio issues every time you switch to the browser. It goes really loud.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Every time he switches to the browser.
Yeah, that's what the comment section's saying. I haven't heard it yet.
Okay, well, I'll keep that in mind. I'll bring it down a bit.
Okay, so anyway, he goes with Amazon, and he says the reason is high-res audio. He used to have a player. Thank you, by the way, Mo. You're keeping us in the loop here. No? Are we fixed? Anyway, so he had this thing called the Pono player, which was this tiny little triangular. I don't remember if it was Kickstarter or not, but I actually purchased one. The trouble was attempting to get music onto it. They tried to have a music store and encourage artists to upload high-res versions of their content. But it was huge files, as you know, if you've ever been into high-resolution audio, and it's really not for everyone. But he had this promotion, which was, hey, it's worth it. And all of this compressed music that people are listening to, you're missing a lot. You're missing out on a lot that's there, and so forth.
Yeah. You would always like high fidelity music over everything. The sound.
Yeah, but there are arguments for and
There's
against.
a sacrifice.
Yeah, because data, right?
Sure.
Not everybody wants, depending on where you are in the world, data consumption can be a very sensitive thing. And some people are okay with listening to a lower resolution file. And some actually argue that a lot of people can't even hear the difference. That blind tests, there's very few people that have that degree of sophistication when it comes to listening. So, and there's other things in the chain, headphones and your environment and so on and so forth. But anyway, he had a player. I'm assuming that things didn't sell very well with that player because I don't think it exists anymore. It's kind of like a relic.
Yeah.
But what?
I guess you can just go with Amazon.
Yeah, anyway, so he chooses Amazon. All folks looking for my music can easily head to, and this was, by the way, on his Twitter account, can easily head to Amazon Music and click here, which is a bit.ly, NYA_Amazon Music. All new listeners will get 4 months free. So he's like fully telling you to go with Amazon. Amazon has been leading the pack, is his words, has leading the pack in high-res audio to the masses. and it's a great place to enjoy my entire catalog in the highest quality available. Oh, and then he goes, thanks also to Apple Music, all caps, I love Apple. And Kuobuzz for sticking with my high-res music. Okay, so I guess that's maybe somehow connected to that previous Pono player. It's all very interesting. We'll see what happens. Now that the disclaimer exists on Spotify, does he come back? That's the bet now, because I remember originally the CEO of Spotify said, we hope to have you back on the platform soon. So was he thinking, hey, I'm going to do this disclaimer and then Neil will be satisfied and then he'll come back? But he's talking audio quality now.
Yeah.
So, oh yeah, the rock story. Yeah, I already covered it.
Yeah.
Go to the next one. Tesla is selling a microphone for karaoke in the car.
Yeah, did you hear about this?
What do they call that? Carpool karaoke?
Yeah. It's meant for Chinese New Year's, and they're only selling it in China. And you get a little 2 mics and a receiver.
That's sick. That's fun. Karaoke is fun.
So I wish I can go to the site, but apparently it's crashed because everyone's ordering it.
Oh, does it actually say carpool karaoke on it? Was that unit that you just showed the actual?
No,
okay.
That's not the one.
Oh, okay.
No. It looks way cooler, and there's like Tesla branding on it.
Oh, that's sick. The
I'm gonna
Tesla
try
mic.
to, I guess, search for it. But,
Tesla's. I was gonna read the headline there.
Oh.
Tesla is selling a new accessory microphone for in-car karaoke. The Tesla mic is only available in China for the time being. The company introduced it amid the rollout of a Chinese New Year software update, which adds a karaoke platform called Leishi KTV to infotainment systems. The content is not available due to your privacy settings. That's why you can't see it, Will. How dare you be so private? The microphone automatically pairs with the infotainment system, so I presume it's wireless. Tesla mic comes in a pack of 2. So
of course, you want
a duet.
Yeah.
So you can do a duet. Oh, is that what it looks like?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That looks like it almost looks like an Earthworks mic. That looks like a decent mic. Well, I mean, I don't know. Obviously, I haven't.
This is how it looks like with the receiver, I guess.
Oh, we got to try to get this. Will this work on my car, though? Or will the software not?
I don't know.
We need to be doing a demo. Somebody in China. I don't know if anyone's listening in China right now. Anybody in China? The pack costs $188, but the Tesla store page is failing to load. Right, because it's getting bombarded right now. It remains to be seen whether Tesla will sell the Tesla mic outside China, though maybe you'll be able to buy it with Doge. Oh, stop it, Engadget. Buy it with Doge. Stop it, Engadget. But yes, if you're in China, or if you have any ability to get one of these,
we'll sing.
We'll shout you out. We'll send it back to you. We'll pay you money, whatever. We'll make it worth your while, because I'd love to check that out. 2 New York nurses made $1.5 million in fake vaccine card scheme. Ooh, that's a couple of dollars. Is that? Oh, that's their actual cash. Oh, cash business. Whew. Julie Devuono, 49, and Marissa Uraro, 44, were charged with second-degree forgery. Also charged with offering a false instrument for filing. That is a lucrative business. My goodness gracious.
Wow.
Is this alleged, or have they been convicted? I feel like we should be clear on that.
I mean, they got the money there.
They've got the money.
Doesn't it look like that?
2 nurses in New York, Long Island, allegedly forged COVID-19 vaccine cards and entered the false shots in the state's database. Woo! So they were deeper than that. It wasn't like they're just printing off a card that says you got vaccinated, but they were also inserting it into the system, into the state system that you had been vaccinated when you hadn't.
Whoa.
Do you see what I'm saying?
That's a good fake.
Hey, man. Hey, geez.
In the state's database.
Yeah, in New York State's database of people that have been vaccinated. So I
guess
like
that's countrywide then?
Well, statewide.
Would that data be like what if you're traveling from state to state?
I presume that wouldn't be applicable. I don't know. Maybe they share data. I'm not sure. I mean, you've obviously heard about people forging these things, but I never heard of nurses being involved and actually inputting.
Hey, I mean, they got 1.5 mil.
Well, it's
I
like
guess
Mo
it must
said,
be
if you
lucrative.
want a real legit fake, that's the most intense fake, because it's who can tell the difference, who could know the difference.
And if you're just typing it into the database, I mean, it's not a lot of work.
Yeah. Well, anyway, they got bigger problems now. Not only I'm sure they've been fired, but now they're obviously being prosecuted. Both women were charged with 1 count of second-degree forgery. Both nurses, obviously, in New York State. They charged $220 for an adult and $85 for children for the false vaccination cards.
Look at this bookkeeping. Wow.
Damn. That becomes the evidence, just the little pen on the paper there.
Uh-huh.
You never keep records when you're doing stuff like that, Will. How dare you? $220 for an adult, $85 for a child for a false vaccination card. That's not cheap, really. Think about it. Plus, you're in the database. But that's a lot of fake vaccinations. You do a little math, divide 1.5 million total by 220. It's a lot of people, Will. Mm-hmm. A lot of people must have known about it, too, because this is like word of mouth. How do they get such a supply of people looking for the fakes?
Right.
People really want to get around it, obviously. Wow. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I saw this photo. I don't know why this photo caught my attention so much. Well, not just mine. 22 hours old and 36.8 thousand upvotes on Reddit. So a lot of people were captivated by this photo. You have Joe Rogan, Jordan Peterson, and Elon Musk posing for a photo in front of the Cybertruck. Now, the Cybertruck that they're posing in front of looks to be more of a prototype than the one we were looking at the other day. But the fact that they're posing in front of it and it's running leads me to believe this might be the one that Elon has been driving around Texas.
Yeah, there's people in it, in the backseat there.
Yeah, I mean, it looks fully functional. And those are the rims, by the way, which were on that other more finished looking model as well. Now, obviously, Jordan was in Austin to do Rogan's podcast recently. So I presume this is a relatively recent photo. And I feel like he said thanks for a ride or something. Maybe it was on Twitter. I can't remember. But I feel like they've been driving around in this Cybertruck. And what do you think about this photo, Will? Where do you feel it?
A lot of powerful people.
That's where
I like to meet them. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, definitely that. But who do you think they're posing for?
Whose picture is this?
That's what I'm saying, because it hasn't been I don't think it's been posted as far as I know.
Yeah, that's a good question.
I'm gonna say
because they're not looking at the camera here.
No, it's
the photo taker.
Either I don't think it's any of their photos. I think someone asked them three to stand in front of it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So that person could have a photo. Either that or it was someone at Tesla on behalf of Elon, and I don't know where they would put it. But
yeah, what's that arrow?
Then there's the arrow. The red arrow is in the photo pointing at the light in the front.
I'm just trying to look for...
It's like a fog light, I assume. Anyway, scroll down. I'm sure the top comment will address the red arrow. Joe Rogan out here looking like Hank from Breaking Bad. I was saying to myself, he looked like a 50-year-old retired police officer who retired because of the IA complaints. And your Breaking Bad reference fits perfectly. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's just kind of novel to see them all standing there together in front of such a bizarre vehicle as well. I know they're all pals, but still, it's
cool photo.
It's quite a moment captured there.
Yeah.
And Jordan's outfits have been getting quite, like, they're fancy all the time.
Yeah, he wore a tuxedo.
It goes a tuxedo
The podcast.
on the podcast. Joe's outfit, I mean, I could wear that any day. Like, that's no,
That looks cozy.
That's no problem.
Elon's Elon.
shirt says something which I can't quite make out.
Yeah.
Terminal, yeah. Yeah, it might be terminal. And then you got Jordan in the middle who...
Looks like he has a pocket watch.
He's from 1940. But it's his thing right now.
Yeah, it's his brand.
His brand is the tailored look.
Yeah.
With the vests and such, but I always get hot and uncomfortable looking at those outfits. Can't help it. But this is another one from Reddit. Believe it or not, this has even more upvotes, and that showcases how powerful a nice piece of artwork can be. This was, I guess, an ad explaining aerodynamics. I think it was an ad for a car manufacturer by the name of Tatra, which I think they're from the Czech Republic, and this was all the way back in 1930. To describe aerodynamics and the change at the time in automotive design around shapes. And so if you scroll down here, you'll see that the wind is represented as like an evil villain. And you can see this villain is grabbing onto the portions that you would grab onto as a human if you were attempting to hold like a toy car or an RC car. If you were the size of that villain, you would...
Yeah.
The only places you can grip are the places that are destroying your aerodynamics. Those are the places that wind is getting hung up. And then the villain is defeated by the aerodynamic vehicle. And what's cool is, but like he's deflated. He can't grab anything because it's so slick. But what's interesting as well about this, first of all, the artwork does such a good job of explaining it to anyone. Like if you want to explain it to a kid, it's fully explained right there. But then the other thing that stood out to me is how much the bottom vehicle, all the way back in 1930, looks so much like what's happening to all vehicles right now. EVs. Yep. They're all some kind of variant. So it hasn't really changed that much, these ideas. Obviously, the powertrain, the propulsion method has changed substantially with the EVs. But
I guess
the
flow of it, like the actual body. Not the framework, but the body of it.
That's right.
Very flowy.
But it's
very similar to what we have.
But they knew it in 1930, and then car designs, automotive designs, cheap gas, and 1950s and whatever, they went crazy with design, like the other car that we have sitting over there. They just do whatever and now we go back to just the most efficient shapes possible. Remember when we had the EQS in here? The shape of it, I mean, it kind of looked like the bottom vehicle over there.
Even Tesla Plaid is so simple, just aerodynamic. That's it.
That's what it aims to do, and everything else is extra. And a friend of mine drives a Jeep, and he was telling me he was in a
like a Wrangler or something?
Yeah, it's actually the Jeep truck, but it's essentially a Wrangler with a bed. He was in a snowstorm the other day. He said he could not keep the snow from building up on the windshield.
Oh, right.
Because it's just piling. If you're in a terrible snow or slush situation, just like aerodynamics, it has no way to really move over.
Yeah.
And if it gets below the portion where the wipers are, it can just build up. Or the things are just flying like crazy. You're just slamming into everything. So as much as I like those old school designs, it's obvious that there's some
cool looking, but not efficient.
Superior effects that go on here when you when you defeat the elements instead of try to fight them.
Right.
Yeah.
Like the wind villain from the graphic. Man makes a power bank able to charge 5,000 smartphones. What a monster.
It's like hauling it around.
It looks like a car battery in an electric car. That's how, maybe even bigger actually. And yet he hauls it like as if it's a wheelbarrow or something with a rope.
That's how he gets around now.
But why does
he has his phone all charged?
Well, now I have the whole explanation. I have everything I need in the first word of the article to understand.
Oh, yeah.
YouTuber Handy Gang noticed. Well, for YouTube, I get it. For YouTube, I get it. He noticed that all his buddies had bigger power banks than his. I'm not so happy with that, he writes. It bothered him. In the video below, he claims he could not sleep. So Handy Gang decided to change that by building the biggest power bank of all. What a monster. I got to feel like, man, I hope that thing is that safe? I don't know. He's powering a fridge, or TV. It might have been a freezer, a TV. Wow. So this is another one of these videos building videos, making things videos, which are so satisfying to watch. I have my very own satisfying video as well that I provide that we're going to get to here in a second. There's something about the accomplishment. I like this guy's warehouse too. It's pretty cool. So I guess he's got to put. What is this? Is it a car battery pack?
It looks like a car battery.
Originally, it must be, right? Because that portion of it looks like it was already put together before he started adding these posts and things to it. But anyway, yeah, he wins now. He can charge everything. Your charger sucks. Look at that. Bang. Bang.
I can just imagine him hauling this to his friend's house and be like, who won now? Who got this?
So how many, does it say any specs about how many milliamp hours it actually is? Or no? 27 million milliamp hour portable charger.
Not really portable.
That's equivalent to 900 normal sized large power banks. It has 60 sockets. Are his friends impressed? That's the key.
Thumbs up. It's like, okay.
Thumbs up, but they look cold though. They're not taking their jackets off. So maybe they can also use the battery to heat the place over there. Oh,
I mean, good on him.
Just charge the whole scooter, why don't you? It's just free charges for people around town.
He just looks this around town. Starts charging people's phones.
Bye.
I mean, he has it at a lake now.
That's good.
I feel like you don't need a battery that big for a TV, though.
No.
Oh, he's got to do the laundry as well. Okay.
He's fishing while he's doing laundry.
He's got to
in his living room,
but then he's got to bring the dirty
TV.
laundry to the lake as well.
That's true, yeah.
Plus, that lake's looking a little rough, not going to lie. I don't know. Oh, this looks good, though.
sort of
It turns
dish.
into a cook. That's not
a great video.
That's not where I saw this going. My goodness. All right. Well done, Handy Gang.
Yeah.
Shout out. Oh, man. Okay, this is another one that was going crazy on Facebook, actually. This was a youth basketball game. Now, it's not the whole story. We have to draw some conclusions based on like this short clip. It's in actually an 8-second clip.
Is there swearing? Can I put audio or no?
I listen to it on mute
Okay.
for safety.
But you know, like,
The
what's going to
premise?
happen. Yeah.
Well, okay, so the title, Coach Chokes Ref, then gets punched by another ref. So we're just going to watch it all go down. You can play it back. 8-second clip. There's a ref at a youth basketball game. There's a disagreement.
Jeez.
And the coach goes full blast at the guy, grabbing him around the neck tightly. It's not one of those sort of mock around or near the neck situations. You can tell he's really putting pressure. At which point, the ref, who you, by the way, you do this to a ref. A ref, it's like a young guy, and like, come on, what could possibly result in this?
Jeez, man.
So anyway, the guy, the ref, who's a little smaller, by the way, than the coach, he reacts by
Someone punched this guy in the
exactly.
the head too.
So the ref reaches up and grabs the other guy's neck, but I had to watch it a couple times to see him do that because it's not immediate. But his other ref comes to his aid, and you'll see him come in from the side and boom, punch the guy in the side of the head. He comes to defend
I didn't even see that.
his fellow ref.
His glasses fall off.
And the glass, and I think he's knocked out. Like, definitely it's over.
Oh, is he knocked out?
Well, he drops. He drops when the punch comes here. Here it is, the punch, boom, and you see he drops.
Right.
He drops down.
yeah.
I presume it's over roughly after that because it looks like the other adults that are there, the other coaching staff,
They're adults.
well, they don't agree with the guy either.
Yeah.
You can tell they're all like, hey, man, what are you doing? Relax. Stop. They're trying to get him off. So in the heat of the thing, I mean, I'm sure that dude is stressed about some other stuff in his life. If he's going that hard at a ref in a situation like that, like we can definitely move forward without doing something like that. But I guess the question is this justified? Like, if you're in that situation, obviously you want to avoid having it go to that extent. But if you're, again, we can ask the chat. The chat is there. Let's see what they say. If you're the other, like, should this guy get punched by the other ref in this case? I mean, I think yes. I'm going to skew it. He's got him by the neck. He's got him by the neck. You know how that goes.
Is there a way to just,
tackle?
Yeah, like just
Without the
take him. I guess a punch would be the fastest.
In a moment like that, when he's your friend and you see the guy has the upper hand and he's choking him, and the other guys, honestly, the guys around him, the rest of the coaching staff should have aggressively pulled him off.
Yeah. Especially the guy behind him.
The guy, but it all happens fast, Will. Let me tell you, man.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, man. This stuff, it happens fast, and you really always wish that you treated it differently and responded differently. But ideally, his coaching staff gets to him aggressively enough to stop it before it goes there. But since that didn't happen quickly enough, the other ref came over and said, "You're not gonna choke my friend to sleep here." And then
I want to see an update on this.
Yeah.
Hopefully
we'll see.
There's a follow-up.
We'll see if it happens. But that clip is taken off over there on Facebook. On a lighter note, how about something a little satisfying here? Is this the last one of the day, Will?
It's the last one, yeah.
All right, so a little satisfying moment, the opposite of the last clip. Here we have Sterling Nova car detailing restoration. This is a very beat-up old vehicle, very cool vehicle, by the way, in much need of some tender love and care. And as you'll see here, that's exactly what it gets in this DIY and crafts video posted 7 hours ago, already 1 million views. And why shouldn't it have 1 million views? Watch it come back to life. Look at the way the black goes black again and the orange starts to become vibrant. Mo's got a little smile on his face. He loves it.
Pressure washer, man.
Pressure
So
washer,
satisfying.
does it all. He's protecting the window. I mean, look at this.
Wow.
That's the
That's
most
just
satisfying.
fun, man.
It's all brand new, all over again, and we've totally washed our minds of that conflict in the last video.
Cleansed.
Well, I actually did forget.
Yes, you did, Mo, and I don't even want to bring you back to it. Let's stay here. Let's stay in satisfying land, and let's just actually go forward and see the results here. Shout out DIY and Crafts on Facebook. Let's see the finished product, Will. There it is. What a restoration. Ready to hit the streets, better than ever.
Wow.
Look at that. Lovely stuff. Give me that Gargoyle track so we can get out of here, Will. Shout out DJT. Thank you to everybody who joined on this live episode. Sorry if there were any technical difficulties. I know Mo was yelling and screaming at me a couple of times. He had his headphone like this, and he had an angry look on his face. It's all right. We made it through. We made it to the end. We made it to the restoration. Gargoyles live forever. I don't know if they actually do. I used to watch a cartoon as a kid. Somebody remind me. Willie Doo probably did it too. What a time to be alive. 2022. It's only up from here. We're on the good side of it now, ladies and gentlemen. We're all going to get along. We're all going to realize the middle ground. We're all going to hang out in the middle ground. That's where the party's at. It's where the gargoyles live. They live on the top of buildings, and they're made of stone, and they come to life, I think, at night.
Yes.
Anyway, there you have it. Thanks, Will. Thanks, everybody.